Okay, so for verifications again, the stuff that we looked at in VXLAN flood and learn is going to be the same thing that we would look at BGP EVPN. So if we said show NVE peers, we know that 111.52 is another peer. Okay, if we show MAC address table, we see the remote MAC address is reachable via the network virtualization edge tunnel. This means that we're then going to behind the scenes look at the show IP route for 111.52. And we're going to follow equal cost multipathing to both spines in order to reach the end host. Okay, then the show BGP L2 VPN, EVPN, the rest of the verifications to the right of that command would be the same as they would be for any BGP config. Okay, so show just BGP L2 VPN EVPN, that's showing me all the routes. The summary would be who are the peers, neighbor advertised routes, neighbor received routes, so on and so forth. Okay, the difference of the address format, though, is that the length is different. If we show BGP L2 VPN EVPN, this is a /216, which there's a special encoding for all of these numbers. Really, the only place that I've seen this documented is in Lucas Kratiger's the Cisco Live presentation, and then in the Cisco Press book that he has coming out, it goes over this in detail. Basically, what this is saying is that it's a 48-bit MAC address. 2 means the type of route. It's a MAC address advertisement as opposed to a layer 3 advertisement. And then this is the actual MAC address of the destination. Okay, this here would be the placeholder of where you have the IP address that corresponds to it. But in this example, we're not doing layer 3 gateway yet. We're doing just layer 2 gateway. Okay, other questions up to this point on what we talked about here today with VXLAN. Okay, there's a question here, are the spines here to minimize the number of BGP neighbors in case we have tons of leafs? But technically, we could build the BGPs between the leafs. Yeah, so you're not required to do route reflection. We could have done a direct peering between 5K1 and 5K2. The only reason that you would do the reflection is just that when you go to add additional leafs, you don't need to update the rest of the config of all the other leafs. The only thing you need to do is go to the spines and then add the new peers, or technically you can also configure BGP dynamic peers, the BGP listen command, to say there's a range of addresses that I'm using to peer to that particular neighbor. Okay, but details of that in BGP we're going to talk about in our later section. So we'll talk about the layer 3 VNIs, so the asymmetric and the symmetric integrated routing and bridging, the Anycast VPC, and then we'll look at some more advanced designs of inter-fabric routing with BGP.